Happy Friday, Stampin' Friends! Today we're going to do a fun card using a set that is not typical for card making called the Playful packaging set, and we're going to make it into a fun fold card. So let's get started. All right, well here is our Playful packaging set. And let me show you real quick how this kind of typically works. It's a really fun set for making kind of treats. We have these awesome new flat 4x8 cellophane bags. And so I have just a piece of paper inside of one so you could see it a little bit better. But these make awesome treat bags. And so with these Playful packaging dies, you can die cut. So I just have die cut 2 of these pieces so you could see them here. One has an awesome score line already in it. And then what we can do is take this first piece, put it around that cellophane bag. It fits perfectly across the top. And then usually what I like to do for this is staple it. And then I can take this piece and top it above and just adhere that together. We could put candy or popcorn or any kind of treat inside there and then decorate it with these super cute dies to create some fun packaging. So that's kind of the typical way to use that. But let me show you today's fun fold card that we're going to use just because. And this is one of my favorite sentiments, of course. And we've got these great hearts and stars and all of these great stamps and some fun dies that you can use to make all of this great packaging, right? But here is our fun fold card. So you can see I use those same 2 pieces, but instead of using them for packaging, we just flip this open and that becomes kind of that card flap, right? And we have this super easy, super cute, kind of a mini fun fold, right? I love easy fun folds and it just tucks right under there to be a fun just because card. Now, if you're wondering about this paper, it is from the 12x12 beautiful ordinary life paper. Look at all these fun prints. We've got polka dots and stripes and other polka dots. We've got this beautiful watercolor wash and some hexagons. We've got some beautiful leaf prints. It's really fun and in those great colors, right? Our pool party, flirty flamingo. It's just bright and summery and fun. So we're going to be using those today. And then at the end, I've got a second card example to show you with the same fold design that celebrates, if you are in the US, our upcoming holiday this weekend for 4th of July. So stay tuned at the end for that. And before I forget, let me pop up my website, stampinqueenbee.com, where you can find a free printable download of today's project. And you can also subscribe for free to my weekly Buzz Bulletin where I email that PDF out to you each week so that you can print. It's totally free, just as a thank you for liking, subscribing, watching my videos, shopping my online store, taking my classes, all the things. It's just a little extra freebie for you and it makes watching the video, I think, a little easier because you don't have to worry about jotting all the measurements down. So let's move all this out of the way and get started. It's a super fun card and I have our pieces ready to go for us. So first I have a pool party card base. Now I have just cut this. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I've just cut it in half and then I've scored that in half. And so we have this kind of fun fold. Usually we call this like a top fold card. We're actually going to use it horizontally today. But we're just going to go ahead and fold this on that score line, use our bone folder to burnish, and I like to do it on each side just so that it's nice and crisp. And then I'm going to grab my liquid glue, my favorite liquid glue, right? And here is a piece I've already cut. Now remember, all of these measurements are on that PDF for you to just print for free and have that ready to go. So this is the cute polka dot pattern. We've got that beautiful I don't know, they kind of look like leaves, but they're not leaves. I don't know, just this beautiful geometric pattern, right, on the back. And so we're going to use those polka dots. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to add this right to the front of our card. Now the dies that we're using, which are pretty much the packaging dies, right? But we're gonna use them for our fun fold today. Those are what really makes this card super easy because we're just die cutting. It's a great way to use up some of our designer series paper, right? So we're just gonna add that, flip it over, give it a little back rub so that it lays flat. And then we'll do some stamping in a minute, but let's get this put together. So we've got these two pieces. Those are those dies that I die cut, those packaging dies. So we have the flat one and the one that has that scored little lip on it. So we're gonna use that one first. So remember, this is designer series paper, so it is a little thinner than like our cardstock. So you wanna fold that on the score line, but you wanna be gentle so you don't rip anything, right? And so what we're gonna do is I like to fold this over the front and line it up with my layer. So you can see it's the same size as our layer here. And so I'm just lining up top and bottom so that that is the same, right? And I'm gonna hold that all together, and we've got this little lip here, which then I'm gonna take a little of our liquid glue and just add it to that little extra fold, right? Then we're gonna hold this in place and fold it over. And I'm just making sure nothing's moving. And we're just gonna hold that down. And so now what that's gonna do is it's gonna adhere that right where I need it inside my card. So we've got that little fold over. Now what I've found is it's easiest to do it that way, because if I just try to adhere it here, sometimes when I close this, then it doesn't fold over flat, right? We kind of have to like push it, or we're not lining it up. So just holding it on that front flap and then adhering it down makes it nice and easy, right? Okay, so we'll let that dry there. I've got one other scrap piece of that beautiful stripes. It's got pool party, and it's got, what other colors are in there? Pool party, flirty flamingo. It's got, I'm just looking on the back of our paper here. It's got daffodil delight, pool party, petal pink, flirty flamingo, all those beautiful colors, timid tiger. And then I just have an inside piece. So we're gonna put this on the inside. It's gonna cover this seam right there so that our flap looks flawless. But before we do that, let's add this strip right to the front of our card. So usually what I like to do is just add a little liquid glue there. And I like to add this first just in case my cutting measurements weren't exactly on, and if there's anything too hanging over too much, I can flip it over and trim from the back. But this one looks good, so we're just go ahead and add that on there, and then we'll add our liquid glue to the back of this piece and put it right on the inside of our card. And this is going to cover the seam of our little flap that we've added there. Okay, now we've got a basic black die cut heart. Now this came right from that set. So I love that there's hearts and stars and flowers. Makes it really easy and fun to kind of add to that. So we're just add a little liquid glue there. And this is just gonna go right on the inside of our card. So cute, right? So cute. Okay, so then we'll close this up and let's work on the front. So we have this other piece. It's gonna be the side here. And so we're just gonna go ahead and add our liquid glue right on that piece. And we're just going to adhere this right to the left front of our card here. And so it kind of gives the illusion of like doors, right? Like barn doors. And that one just swings open for us. Okay, so then let's do a little stamping. So I've got two pieces here. We've got pool party for our cardstock, just like our card base. And we've got a piece of basic white here. And so we're gonna stamp some of these hearts. So in our stamp set, you can see we've got hearts and flowers and stars, and these are all in a line. And so they're perfectly lined up to a couple of things. So they're perfectly lined up to fit on the flaps of those packaging this way, and also to fit this way. So you could do hearts on the ends of those flaps, or stars or flowers, right? But there's 3 in a row, which is quite nice for stamping and lining up. So I'm just gonna grab my black ink here. We're gonna ink this up and we're gonna stamp hearts all the way on this layer. So I like to start at top and bottom. So we're just gonna stamp that down, hold it there for a second so that ink transfers. And then I like to go to the top. And I kind of like to do this, 1 and then 1 and then 1 and then 1, top and bottom, so that they line up and are pretty evenly spaced when we do it that way. That one on there. Couple more here. And then this layer will be ready to adhere. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna take this heart layer and, oh, I wanted to show you this because you also could stamp it on those stripes. So we could have the stripes on there, or we could have the solids on there. Either one, super cute, right? Kind of love both. Maybe we'll do the stripes on this one just so that you can see how both of those come out. So they do fit perfectly on the stripes of this paper as well. Okay, so let's just go ahead and add this right to our pool party layer, and we'll just center that on there. Easy, right? And then we're gonna bring this back in. Okay, and we want this side, the right side of the flap, to be able to tuck under this side of this focal layer. So we're going to flip this over, and I'm gonna grab my Stampin' Dimensionals here, and we're just gonna add these right to this left side, but the back, right? We're just gonna go all the way up the left side. We're gonna leave that whole right side so that our flap here can tuck right underneath. So I'll put those 4, and then I've just added like 2 more that are kind of in the middle just to kind of stabilize this, right? We don't want anything hanging over. So then I just make sure that my flap is enough underneath this layer, and go ahead and set that down so it's straight. Push those dimensionals down, and now we have this little area that our flap can easily just tuck right underneath that to close up our card. Easy peasy fun, right? Now we want to put our sentiment next. So we've got Just Because, and we've got this great banner die. So in this die set, there's 2, well, really 3 banners that you can stamp any of those words on. So we've got the thank you that fits great in this one, and then a gift for you or just because fit in those kind of skinnier ones. So we're gonna use this one. We've got our just because, so we'll ink that up. Make sure we've got enough on there. Stamp that down. Fits on there beautifully, and we have our just because. Okay, so then we'll grab our dimensionals again, and sometimes our dimensionals are too thick, right? So you can use your mini dimensionals, or you can just cut up the center, which is what I do, with some adhesive scissors. And so then you have like half dimensionals, and they work beautifully on here. So we'll just grab like 3 of those. And then we'll take this, and I just like to put it kind of in between some of those rows of hearts. You could also put it right over it if you wanted to leave that, or you could just go kind of in between them. So I think we'll go in between them here. So there's our sentiment. Now we need 2 more of those same die cut hearts, so just out of our basic black there. And so for these, because we're gonna pop these up with dimensionals, I like to use the black Stampin' Dimensionals for these so that they don't stick out, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and add 2 of our black Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of our hearts, and we're just gonna overlap them. Because remember, this side doesn't open, right? So we're just going to overlap them with our focal layer. See how beautifully those just blend right in? And then we'll take this one, and they'll be kind of hearts over hearts, right? And then we have these awesome embellishments that match this so beautifully. The array of dots matches this paper so nice. And so we're gonna use the Flirty Flamingo color on these, and let's just add 3 of these. So we'll do our large and our medium kind of right by our hearts, and then let's put a small one just under to create that triangle. Beautiful. Okay, so which do you like? Do you like it stamped on the stripes, or do you like it stamped on basic white? I think they both look beautiful. And then remember, it's a little fun fold, an easy fun fold, right? With that fun flap that opens up, and we've got our heart, a little bit of that leaf print inside, and you can write your beautiful message. So I hope you loved kind of a different way, right, to use this playful packaging set. I think it's kind of a sleeper set, right? Like it's one that maybe gets overlooked, but it is oh so beautiful, and so many extra ways that we can use it, right? Lots of possibilities. So thanks so much for joining me today. I will see you guys again next week for another fun project. Stay tuned, and don't forget to print out your free PDF. You can grab that on my website. Let's pop it up there for you, just in case you missed it. You can find it there along with all the past tutorials and classes and all the things. So thanks so much for watching me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.